Let's switch gears to a bit of to even more fun with a quick fire round to get to know you even better, Nico. So, what's your fast favorite? Will be the question. So, tell us what's your favorite food.
Paella.
Nice. Favorite place?
Paris. No,
Paris. Beautiful.
no, mountains, Grenoble.
Okay, okay. And go to karaoke song.
Kiss from Prince.
Kiss from Prince. Nice. I also heard that your favorite rock song was Broken Communication from Led Zeppelin.
Oh, who told you that?
What can I say, Nico? I do my research before I
I
interview
can play
people.
that on the guitar.
Welcome to the EU Startups Podcast. Sit back and enjoy the show hosted by Marcin Lewandowski.
Hey everyone, this is Marcin Lewandowski and you're listening to the EU Startups Podcast. My guest today is Nicolas Benady. Nico is the co-founder and CEO of Swan, a company that enables embedding of banking features into products. Swan was founded in 2019 with the startup studio eFounders and now serves 100 companies across Europe and raised 38 million euro Series B round past fall. Prior to founding Swan, Nicolas co-founded two successful payment startups, both of which were acquired in 2021. Nicolas is an avid cyclist, and one of the things that keeps him up at night is how to build a more ecologically responsible company. Everyone, please give it up for Nicolas Benady. Nico, so awesome to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. Hello.
So, Nico, let's kick things off. You've embarked on several entrepreneurial expeditions, and Swan is the biggest chapter. Can you share the origin story of Swan and what led you to its creation?
Yeah, of course. And Swan, I love the word expedition for launching a startup, by the way. Swan is probably the result of the other fintech I built before. So it was fintech also, the other companies that I founded in 2007 and 2014. For these fintechs, we needed banking as a service platform. So we needed what Swan does today. And what we had at the time on the market, we didn't really like it. We thought that we could do something better. So really that was the initial idea of Swan. Let's build a proper embedded banking platform that works. It was super hard to work with them because if you were a developer, you had to talk to a sales guy. You know this kind of website where you want to see the documentation and you see, please click here. We will call you back. What is your business model? All of this, and our idea is, well, we can do something simpler. We can build something that if you're a developer and if you wake up in the morning in the middle of the night with a good fintech idea,
Yeah.
you could go on a website and start to build on a sandbox. You want to build a card, for instance, with your logo, with your card. With your logo, and then you can start to build on our sandbox and wake up in the morning with a nice self-issued card and buy a croissant with it. This was really the
Sounds
idea
good.
that drove us at the beginning. That's one.
Awesome. So I know that you also co-founded Limontic and Antelope. Did I pronounce this right? Is it Limontic?
Limonetic.
Limonetic and Antelope.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Paving the way, for Swan. What key lessons from your earlier ventures have you applied to Swan's journey, and how has the payments landscape evolved over time?
Yeah, of course. Well, I think every entrepreneur learns different thing from their first
100%.
venture. What I learned was probably to be more ambitious and to be not French. My first ventures were a little bit French-centric, but believe me, it was probably the French ecosystem at that time in the years 2000 and beginning of 2010. And so when we started Swan, the idea was to build something not global because we're a regulated financial institution, but
Uh-huh.
European. So we had this European ambition day one at Swan. And this is really something I learned with the first company that try to be more
Mhm.
ambitious day one when you start the venture.
Amazing. I
And
like it.
I can tell that the French ecosystem changed a lot recently.
Uh-huh.
It's not only me, it's probably the whole French ecosystem who is more ambitious and more international today.
Mm. That's probably something that Europe gets, uh, kind of finally gets from the US. Maybe they're over ambitious there, but like anytime I talk to founder from Europe versus founder from the US, the founders from the US say like, oh, we're gonna build this company and it's gonna be that, and like we're gonna solve this kind of problem, it's gonna be a massive success. And European founders like are a bit more grounded and realistic. That's my impression.
Maybe I can say that maybe in fintechs that's not exactly what I feel. I felt
Uh-huh.
like English startups, English fintechs were probably the best in the world in the years 2010,
Hmm.
and actually I was more inspired by English fintech than American ones in terms of
Hmm.
ambition.
That is
So
awesome.
London was really the place to be 10 years ago. And now I
Yeah.
think that we can do nice things in the continent as well.
Awesome. Great to hear that. Swan is all about embedding banking features into products. Can you dive into the concept and share how Swan's unique approach is reshaping the traditional boundaries of banking and what possibilities it unlocks for businesses?
Yeah, so it will be a little bit long. Sorry for that because
Okay.
not always easy to understand what we do. So maybe just to recap what we do first.
Thanks for the heads up, Nico.
So yes, we are a regulated e-money institution
Uh-huh.
in France. We can serve the whole Europe, and so our activity is a little bit like companies like Revolut or Conto. So the only difference is if you want to open a Swan account, you won't download an app to do that.
Mhm.
You will use one of the app of our partners because we are white label. We are
Mhm.
behind the scene. And so
Mhm.
any company can create for their own clients accounts with IBANs, with cards, so MasterCard with their own logo. So any company with a couple of developers can become a fintech with us and they can embed banking features into an existing software.
Yeah.
And so this is really what is embedded banking. So maybe to give you an example to understand what we do, think of Uber. When you get out of an Uber cab, you don't think
Mhm.
about payments, right? Uh, it happens. It just happens, and
Yeah.
the user experience is way better than before when you had when the taxi had to make a detour so you could withdraw cash.
Mhm.
But put yourself in the shoes of the driver. The drivers that don't even have to go to a bank, to a
Mhm.
branch to order a card machine or a
Yeah.
POS terminal. It's totally embedded inside the Uber app. And so this is a truly embedded banking function. And we are the type of company that makes this kind of magic happen. And we
Mhm.
do that for all sorts of use cases. So for instance, we don't do it for Uber. We are not the provider. But
Yeah.
let me share you another story. Luca, which is one of our top clients. In my previous companies, until there were 20 of us in the company. I was the one managing finance and HR,
Mhm.
which means that I was the one paying the salaries. I was the one when account executives came back from a trip, they wanted to be refunded for their expenses.
Yeah.
We had meal vouchers and everything. And so at the end of the day, it was not easy to manage all of this, but I had great software for that, Luca. Uh, the only problem is I had to switch all the time between Luca and my bank to do the payments. So
Mhm.
salaries, refund of expenses, meal voucher, cards, payments. And so when we started Swan, which the first clients I tried to convince was Luca saying, hey, you could do all of this within Luca. So you could just check the payrolls and click on a button and boom, it's paid. And same for meal vouchers. And if somebody wants to be paid in advance in the middle of the month, then it's okay. I don't have to validate it if it's under 1,000 euro, let's say. So now it's all embedded within Luca, and so it's great in terms of user experience for the finance managers because it saves them a lot of time, and it's also great in terms of money because we distribute banking services through Luca, and we share this revenue with this software. So Uber, Luca, all of this software can now distribute banking services, embed them into an existing product, and make money out of it with a great user experience.
Awesome, Nico. So you're like a maestro orchestrating Swan's strategic development. What keynotes do you consider while expanding across Europe? Like, how do you navigate the diverse financial landscapes and regulations in different countries?
Okay. So first, we have something great in Europe. When you have a license for any financial institution, you can serve the whole Europe, which is not true in the US, for instance. You have one license by state. So we have this luck, but it's not because we can serve the whole Europe that it's easy to do. You can't do it day one. For instance, when we go to Netherlands, the payment landscape, the banking landscape is a little bit different. Dutch people are used to different services. Of course, we have SEPA, we have Visa and MasterCard that exist in the whole Europe. But it's like, cuisine. Every European country has its little specificity. So when you go to Netherlands, for instance, Dutch clients, they expect Maestro on their card, not only MasterCard. They want Dutch IBAN, not French IBAN. And so we have some developments to do for each country, really to be super local, what we call hyper-localized. So in order to do that, it takes us something like 1 year to launch a country, really to do the best product for local people.
No. Awesome. Nico, so let's talk about culture for a second. Startups tend to be famous for, like kind of work hard, play hard, grow fast kind of culture. But we've seen a lot of bright flames burn out fast. I've heard that Swan is trying to take a different approach. Can you spill the beans on that a bit?
Yeah, it's not like we don't like to work hard, of course, but we try to have maybe a different culture at Swan. Especially at Series B, this is really a stage that it's hard to bridge, because if you don't have the right culture, then you can have people leaving the boat. And so we are proud to have very few people as of today, knock on wood, who have left Swan until now. So our culture, I can tell you about our values. Our values, the first thing is be long term. This is really something important at Swan. Excellence is also our value. Simplicity, we want to be super simple. And the last one is be human. And I'm sure that this kind of personality test that some people do, with color like blue, red, green. And DISC, for instance, is one of these personality tests. Actually, startup can do also. Enterprise can do this kind of personality test as well. And we discovered that most startups are red, like what you said before. And that's one we try to be blue. So again, centered on excellence. We really want to build a jewel, a diamond, if you want. And we want to be here for the long run.
Awesome. Nico, Swan made waves with a 30 million round past fall. Imagine that you're a speaker at the startup school, sharing tips on fundraising with aspiring entrepreneurs. What insights can you share about navigating the fundraising journey? And what does this funding mean for Swan's future?
Well, so of course it's easy to say when you have raised some money, but the first thing I would say,
Right.
fundraising shouldn't be the number one thing you have in mind. For me, it's the number fourth thing, I would say.
Yeah.
The first thing is really to build a great product. This is really the first thing. The second thing is to find clients, and then to build a nice team. Third thing, and of course you need money on top of that to initiate your company. And some great companies don't need a fundraising because they bootstrap. So yes, if you do well the first three things, then the fourth thing will come naturally. So don't try to impress investors or things like that. If you have a good company, then it will come naturally. This is the only thing I could say. People are still probably in 2021, some of them believing that we will come back to normal. 21 was not normal at all. I would say now is normal time. It's hard to get some money. It was before, it is today. And just try to build a great company. Don't be focused on fundraising.
Love that. Nico, your passion for cycling aligns with your commitment to building a more ecologically responsible company. How does Swan wave sustainability into its DNA? And what are some challenges you faced in making this vision a reality?
This is a tough question. And we are far, far, far from being perfect. That's one. But this is something very important for me. So, for instance, I try to avoid personally flight as much as possible. I barely fly. And I try to do the same for Swan. So we try to say to our account executive team, to our sales team, please don't take flights unless it's really necessary. And some of them don't like it, I can tell you. So, and sometimes it's a burden for Swan because it would be easier to just take a flight and meet a client or go to an event or whatever. And so sometimes we do. We're not perfect again. But this is something very important for me because, again, we try to build things for the long run. And I'm almost sure that this kind of thing will do a difference in the future for the company. But I can tell you that it's not easy to build a European company. It would be easier to be focused, for instance, on the French market. But if you want to build a European company, travel is really the hardest thing that you to tackle if you want to have a good carbon footprint.
Nico, speaking about traveling, I heard that you were once engaged in a snowboarding trip around the world. If you could take, maybe you can tell us what's the story behind it first, but also follow-up question to that. If you could take one person, be it from the business world or entertainment or whoever inspires you look up to, with you on this kind of trip, who would it be and why?
Yeah, okay. So probably you looked at my LinkedIn profile, and I did a trip around the world 20 years ago. And it's probably like startup. I love adventures. But regarding that trip, I think this is, really the kind of a dream that the previous generation had. It would be the dream of people who were born in the 50s to travel around the world with a plane. I wouldn't do it today, to be honest. But still, I loved it. And if I had to pick someone to come with me, well, I'm not sure you know him, but I would pick Goscinny. So who's Goscinny? Goscinny is the author of Asterix. I think everybody knows Asterix. But I can tell you why I love this guy. So first, because he's a great author. He did not only Asterix, but many, many, many other cartoons. So he's a great artist. This is the first thing. But he's not only...
I love Asterix. I used to watch it when I was a child.
Okay, yeah. And well, he's a funny guy as well. But he's also an entrepreneur. He was the one created a journal in the 60s, in the 1960s, called Pilot, if you want. And this guy was incredible because he stayed 10 years the boss of this journal. And during these 10 years, every people who went to that journal draw masterpieces. Probably because he was here. So so the journal was a great success. Himself was a great artist. Every people who was around him did great thing, probably because he brought something like an energy, and yeah, and ultimately it was funny as well.
Awesome. I love your choice. That's very cool. So let's maybe switch gears since we are already in the kind of a fun topic. Let's switch gears to a bit of to even more fun with a quick fire round to get to know you even better, Nico. So, what's your fast favorite? Will be the question. So, tell us what's your favorite tech gadget.
I'm sorry about this one. I don't have any favorite tech
Mhm.
gadget. I'm not really into. I'm not a big fan of tech gadget.
Okay, cool. It has to be a fast one. Let's go. Now, favorite food.
Ah, paella.
Nice. Favorite place.
Paris. No,
Paris.
no,
Beautiful.
mountains. Grenoble.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, of course.
And go to karaoke song.
Kiss from Prince.
Kiss from Prince. Nice. I also heard that your favorite rock song was Broken Communication from Led Zeppelin.
Oh, who told you that?
What can I say, Nico? I do my research before. I
I
know
can
young
play
people.
that on the guitar, but that's not my favorite.
Nice, nice,
That's funny.
nice. Okay. I think I read it somewhere. I think maybe from your at your okay, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you later. So let's keep going. TV series. Favorite TV series.
Well, I watched recently Ted Lasso. I
Uh-huh.
loved it because it's a feel good series, and but not only it's quite moving. That's funny because I was sharing this to the team. Especially there is a scene that I loved where there is where a guy that's coming out during a halftime of a football game,
Uh-huh.
and this scene is really moving. So yeah, I love this series.
I like the series as well. Last one. What's the most unusual item on your office desk right now?
Oh, I can tell you this one. Sometimes I'm a little bit nervous, and so well, I have one in my hand. So I'm a little bit nervous sometimes. So
Uh-huh.
my colleagues they buy me some fidgeting tools. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if this is a way to call it. So I can my hands I can play with it. So this is probably
You
the
keep them
most.
busy. You can play with it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so cool. Nico, so thanks a lot for answering the questions so far. I've been enjoying this interview a lot. You know, in dreaming big for Swan, what's your vision for the company? If Swan could achieve like one thing that kind of transcends business success, what would it be, and how would it leave a positive mark on the world?
Look, I would love Swan to become a generational company and that
Uh-huh.
inspires other company in Europe to do hard things. When I say hard things, you know, I believe that in Europe we can build a great technological company like in the US or in China. So I'm not super interested by companies who make T-shirts or who make this kind of thing. So
Right.
yeah, just if I can inspire other people to make difficult things, I would be happy.
Mhm. Awesome, Nico. Thanks so much. Let's finish it off with you telling us, I don't know, what you got going on currently. Do you have any new projects or initiatives that you're excited about, either within Swan or outside of it?
Yeah, so maybe I can tell you about Swan because we will launch Italy quite soon, and we're super excited to
Mhm.
go there. So it's a little bit long by train, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, this is our next milestone in our journey.
Amazing. Nico, thanks so much. It's been lovely to have you on the show. Awesome meeting you. I wish you all the best and hope to talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot, Marcin. See you. Bye bye.